Okay, we will continue our daily Bhagavad Gita program today. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let me share my screen. And,
Right.
okay, let us take the blessings of the deities of ISKCON Sheshadripuram. So, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Sudarshan ki Jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki Jai,
Yeah.
Parashuram Bhagwan ki Jai, Vaman
Yeah.
Dev ki Jai, Panchatattva ki Jai.
Yeah.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
Even
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
the
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै
one
श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Okay.
Hare,
So
Hare Krishna,
today
Hare
we are in chapter number 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So in this chapter, we are right now in verse number 12. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamahah simhanadam vinadyochai shankam dadmau pratapavan. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So, what has happened so far is the Pandavas and Kauravas are assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So Pandavas have an army of 7 Akshavani and Kauravas have 11 Akshavani. Akshavani is a unit of measurement of armies in the Vedic times. So this is all in the Vedic times, how a warfare used to happen, right? The army will constitute of foot soldiers, it will constitute of horses, elephants, and chariots. And there are different kinds of fighters which are graded as per how many people that they can fight. So there is a nice gradation that is also done based on how many foot soldiers is equivalent of one horse, how many horse soldiers is equal to one elephant soldier, how many elephant soldiers is equal to one half rathi, how many half rathis is equal to one rathi, that is one chariot fighter, how many chariot fighters is equal to one maharathi, how many maharathis is equal to one atirathi, like that. So the fighters who have been mentioned so far, they have been mentioned that they are very great fighters, right? So what happens? So all these people are assembled there, very powerful fighters, right? And what has happened so far is, like, first it all started with the inquiry of Dhritarashtra to Sanjaya, his personal secretary, about what is going on. And Sanjaya tells that, Duryodhana, your son, has directly gone to Dronacharya and he has spoken thus. And as soon as Duryodhana starts speaking, he starts reminding Dronacharya about his enmity with Drupada and his prospect of dying in the hands of Drishtadyumna, the son of Drupada. And then he tells, actually, he becomes very fearful. And then he starts covering it up and saying, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry, nothing to worry. We have very nice fighters, like, nothing to worry. Yeah, first he starts describing, the fighters of the Pandavas. The very, very nice fighters are there. Bhima is there, Arjuna is there, Abhimanyu is there, Drupada is there. So many, they see, he says all that. And then he starts saying, don't worry, nothing to worry. On our side, you are there. Bhishma is there, Karna is there, right? And then so many other soldiers are there. They're all ready to give up their life. But then he's actually feeling very fearful, right? That is very clear. So grandfather Bhishma has seen that, right? So who is Bhishma? Bhishma is the grandfather of all this, of Duryodhana also, and of Arjuna also. So he had naturally, so he felt a little bit of affection for his grandson, right? Even though Bhishma, in his heart, wants Pandavas to win, right? Because they are on the side of the religious principles, right? On the side of dharma. So that's why he wants, and Krishna, more importantly, Krishna is on the side of Arjuna. So he knows that, there's no chance for victory, but still he is doing his duty. But he wants to encourage Duryodhana a little bit by, giving him some encouragement. He's just telling, okay, don't worry. Like that, he'll blow his conch shell very loudly, just like almost like a roar of a lion, like a roar of a lion. But the Pandavas are not disturbed to the least. They're completely not disturbed by the sound that is made, right, by the Bhishmas, right? So, and another thing is there is a subtle message that Bhishma is giving in this verse. What is that subtle message? Is the symbolism of conch shell is actually the symbolism of Vishnu or Krishna, right? The symbolism of Vishnu or Krishna. So he is indirectly saying that Krishna, whoever is there on the side of Krishna, will win. So he's indirectly actually telling Duryodhana that there is no chance for you to win, right? But still he had to conduct the war, because it's his duty. He had taken a promise that he will take care of the kingdom. Okay. So that was about this verse. Let's see the next verse now. Tata shankascha bheryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasaiva bhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. So, before the war begins, each side, they will blow all the different kinds of trumpets, and they will sound all these kinds of different instruments that they have. Very big drums, bugles, trumpets, and they make a huge noise. Right? So here the word is used is tumulo bhavat. So one interesting observation is here. This word tumultuous, English word, is coming from the Sanskrit word tumulo. Like that, we can actually see a lot of words which are there in English actually come from Sanskrit, right? So like that, so the point is like a huge noise was made, just as if, it's just to show the enthusiasm on each side of the parties. Each party, they try to show their enthusiasm by making some kind of noise. So they have professional people who will do this kind of noise. Even today in our modern army also, we have some people who do some kind of a drill, drums and etc. But not to that extent, but they do make some noise just to encourage the soldiers, you see. So the thing here is, whatever it may be, the point here is the Kauravas are on the side of they are not on the side of dharma, right? They're not on the side of religious principles, right? And the Kauravas are not there, and Pandavas are on the side of religious principles, and always, the religious principle, whoever is on the side of the religious principles will actually win. So we'll hear a little bit about Bhishma Pitamaha. So since Bhishma Pitamaha is there in this verse, so actually Bhishma Pitamaha in his previous lifetime was one of the 8 Vasus. Okay. So, and his name was Dyav. Okay. And then how was he born as a human being? Human being, in comparison to the other species, such as the higher species, like Vasus, is a lower species. So Vasus is one of the higher kind of a celestial species, like Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Vasus, Gandharva, like that. Vasus are on the top grade kind of a thing. But so it's a kind of a degradation that coming to a human form of life. Further degradation from human form of life is animal form of life, right? So here we have to understand the story, what happened. So in the previous lifetime, Bhishma Pitamaha was one of the 8 Vasus. So one day, like the 8 Vasus, they come to Vashishta, right? And then Vashishta has got a heavenly cow known as Nandini. Okay. This Nandini is the daughter of Surabhi cow. Okay. And the Surabhi cows are, we all know that, Surabhi cows are the cows which are there in the Goloka Vrindavana. So the topmost abode of Krishna, the spiritual world, is called Goloka Vrindavana. And Krishna is surrounded by this Surabhi cows. So the descendant of that Surabhi cow is this Nandini cow, a heavenly cow. And the speciality of this cow is that, it can give whatever one wants, right? If you go to that cow and ask for some benediction, it will immediately give it, right? So that is the speciality of this cow. So once these 8 Vasus come to Vashishta's ashrama and they see that cow, and their leader of the 8 Vasus was Dyav, right? This Dyav was implored by his wife that, get that cow for me. I want the cow. So then Dyav accepted his wife's request, and then he steals the cow. First, he tries to ask Vashishta, can you give me the cow? Then Vashishta declines, respectfully saying that I require this cow for performing my religious duties. So therefore, I cannot give you. I'm very sorry about it. So then Dyav steals this cow along with all his brothers. Then Vasishta, in his yogic meditation, he understands that, somebody has stolen the cow. And then he realizes that, Dyav, along with the other 7 Vasus, has done it. So then he immediately curses them. He takes a little bit of water and curses that, let all of these 8 Vasus be born as human beings. Now we might be wondering, like, what is that kind of curse? I mean, we are all human beings. And how can that be a curse? I mean, you be born in India, you be born in some country. That's not a curse according to us. But then actually we have to understand human form of life in comparison with the upper species, higher species is like a little degraded. But of course, human form of life has got the chance, it affords the chance to go back to Godhead. That opportunity is not there for the people who are there in the higher species or in the lower species. So that is a speciality of human form of life. But with respect to material enjoyment, it is not so good as Vasu's position. So therefore, then all the Vasus come and fall on the feet of Vashishta, getting to know. And they say, dear Maharaj, kindly forgive us. We have done a mistake. Then he says, okay, I will adjust the curse a little bit because you are feeling a little sorry. Okay, 7 of you, you'll be born. Since I have already spoken my curse, it cannot be taken back. So I will adjust it in such a way that, the 7 of you will actually be born, and but you will die as soon as you are born. That arrangement I will make. But the leader who is there, right, Dev, he will have to remain on the earth for a full lifetime. He'll be victorious, very powerful, learned in Vedas, but he will not have any children, right? And he will not be associating with any woman. So this is the kind of adjustment that I will do. And he will go back to the spiritual world like that. So then what happens is Shantanu Maharaj sees Ganga Devi and he requests her to become his wife. And Ganga accepts. And Ganga accepts on one condition, saying that you should not ask me, you should not question me any action that I do. Shantanu Maharaj agrees. And year after year, they have children. So, for 7 years, every year, Ganga would take her baby and dip it inside the Ganges river. So Shantanu would be shocked by her actions. So at the time when she is about to do it for 8th time for Bhishma Pitamaha, whose name is called Devavrata, Bhishma name came later. So Devavrata, so when he was about to kill, then he comes and asks Ganga Devi, why are you doing this? Don't do it, right? So then she says, I am actually not going to kill this baby because as per the curse, he is not going to die. Actually, these seven children are not children, but they are actually 7 Vasus. They have been cursed by Vashishta. I'm following the instructions of Vashishta, and now they have become Vasus. Only this person is going to stay, your son. I'm going to train him very nicely in the celestial worlds, and I'll send him back. So she gets him trained very nicely under Vashishta, Parashurama, and all the great rishis. And a very great warrior, very learned in Vedas and warfare, is Bhishma Pitamaha. Very perfect knowledge in religious principles. These are the qualities of Bhishma Pitamaha. And above everything, Bhishma Pitamaha was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. That is his main qualification. He's one of the Mahajanas, right? So that was about Bhishma Pitamaha. So in conclusion, we have to understand that human form of life is very rare, and we can become perfect. We can attain perfection of human form of life. We must take advantage of this by chanting the names of Krishna and by performing devotional service. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.